You've been punk since the day you was born, and you just too foolish to realize it. You already offended and want to click off the video because you like what this dude's even talking about. You want to make it in life, you need to get outside your feelings. And what I even mean by you've been punk since the day you was born out of wedlock. You was born to a dope addict mama. You was born to a dad who didn't even want you, or he was incarcerated, or he was a dope addict too. You was born into poverty. You was born in the wrong city at the wrong time, right? Everything stacked against you since the day you was born. So you've been getting punked since the day you was born. And you're still a victim today, and you in your 30s and 40s. And you wonder why you can't make no ground and make no leeway in life. Because all you do is think about, woe is me, poor me. Well, guess what? A lot of people was punk since the day they were born. Those who choose to make something out of it and choose to lift themselves up out of the dirt and the mud are the ones that make it. And listen, there are some people who are born with the silver spoon in their mouth, and you ain't one of them. I ain't one of them, right? We had things stacked against us, right? You don't know what I've been through, and I don't know what you've been through, but I know no matter who it is, you can make it in life. It just requires determination, honesty, and effort, right? You have to be willing to get outside of your own feelings. Look, I get my feelings caught up sometimes too. I'm an emotional person. I express myself in radical ways, right? I've been called an extremist, a radical, overly emotional. You know what I mean? The way you explain things, because, hey, I'm passionate. But over time, I've learned to control my emotions. And most of the time, even when I'm passionate or overly emotional, whatever I'm saying, most of the time people are like, you know what you were saying made sense. It was just how you said it. So I had to learn how to say things better, and I'm still learning how to do that today. Recently, I had a meeting with people from church, leadership at church. I'm part of an eldership team at the church, in case you don't know. Well, during the meeting, I started talking about some stuff that was important to me. And then it seemed like that the group that I was in was kind of, brushing it off or trying to move past the topic. And I was passionate about this topic, and I felt like it was something that was important to talk about. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought it up. Well, not everybody's going to grasp what's important to you. So sometimes you got to speak a little extra emphasis. So I spoke a little extra emphasis. I didn't realize it, but I tapped my phone on the table twice, and apparently that offended some people too. It's all good, whatever. But I had to apologize for the way I did things again. I'm sorry for tapping my phone. I'm sorry for using my hands to explain myself and getting overly excited with my voice, like I do right now. So I had to apologize for that. But what I didn't apologize for was what I was saying, because what I was saying needed to be said. So if you're saying something or you're doing something that needs to be said or done, then you don't have to apologize to that. You know what I mean? But what you do need to do is quit being a perpetual victim. That's why ex-convicts don't make it. They automatically the victim. Nobody's giving me a chance. Ain't nobody gonna give you no chance. Nobody got to give us nothing. We have to get that in our system first, right here in your mind. Nobody got to give us nothing. We put ourselves in prison. We committed the crimes. We picked up the pistol. You sold the whatever you were selling, illegal narcotics, right? That's on you, or even worse, So you are guilty for you, and nobody owes you anything, right? Remember, you were born in this world of punk, and you're probably going to leave this world of punk unless you choose to change that. Today, every time you turn on the TV, it's more perpetual victimhood, more perpetual victimness. Everybody's the perpetual victim. Listen, it doesn't mean that somebody didn't do you wrong and won't do you wrong. And sometimes life ain't fair. But who owes you anything, right? Right? Answer that question. Who owes you something? Probably nobody. Your mom and dad, even though they were living rough when you were born, they did their best to make it up to you, and they apologized for it, but you're still holding that against them. You got to release them from that. You got to release everybody from anything that's holding you down and you offended by. There are some things you should be offended by, but you can't let that stuff hold you down. And there are other things that you get offended by that you're letting hold you down, and you don't even need to be offended by that because they're telling you the truth. One of the biggest issues you see in society today, people unwilling to accept something that they thought was truth is actually not a truth. And they refuse to let that out their mind and let that out their life because they don't want to admit that they were wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Don't you rather correct the thing that you believe to be right that really isn't, and get back on course? Man, don't be a victim. Don't play the victim. That's sorry. It's played up and it's used. That doesn't, like I said, it doesn't mean that somebody didn't do you wrong, but you can't wear that on your shoulder forever because it's going to prevent you from moving forward and being successful in whatever it is. And success is in a bunch of different ways. Sometimes I see people who are successful financially, but they're a mess in every other area. They can't hold relationships together. Their marriage is one marriage after the next. And if you've been married 5 and 6 times, who you think that's on? You got 5 and 6 wives, 5 and 6 husbands, and it's still not your fault? That's your fault. You don't know what it's like to be married, because marriage takes commitment. It takes admitting when you're wrong and dealing with your issues. Now, if you're in an abusive relationship, that's a whole different story. You're supposed to get out of that. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, and you hear it all the time, especially from women. They can't find the right husband. I don't have the same feelings that I used to for you. Oh, man, what kind of punk stuff is that? You ain't going to feel butterflies in your stomach like you can't wait to see that person, for a 20-year marriage. That ain't going to happen. You delusional? Marriage doesn't mean feelings because you get all excited and happy like a little teenage kid in love for the first time. Man, you could be as dumb. That ain't how that works. You know what it is? It's commitment. It's saying, you know what? I'm going to be faithful. I'm going to be honest. And when you make a mistake, own up to it and fix it. That's what it is to be successful in a marriage. Or look at it in any relationship. You can't not keep a job. You can't keep a job because every time you get a job, your boss is picking on you. If you got 15 jobs in 15 years, then you probably have some issues with you. And that don't mean that the boss wasn't whatever he was, because some of them got issues too. But you got to be able to get outside yourself and hold something down. Remember, you're doing it for you. Get what you can from the job. Get the knowledge that you can get. We got to do things better. We got to soul search. We do need a pep talk. Most people just want to go watch something foolish on YouTube, even on the prison channels. I'm a prison channel, crime channel. You don't want this type of stuff. I listen to, who's the most influential person that you could listen to who has an actual large following when it comes to prison topics? I think it's Big Herc. A lot of the other ones, they cool and it's entertaining, but they don't really have substance. He's like one of the only ones, not the only one, but he's one of the only ones who is actually bringing substance to the table. He's actually saying, look, you got to course correct. A lot of other people, it's just wishy-washy stuff. He said this, she said that. Oh, when I was in prison, I was the man. I don't know what he's talking about. He ratted. Oh, man, come on, man. In your 40s, man. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares who was calling shots? Doesn't make a difference now. It's in the past. You got 20, 30 years left to live. Don't you want it to be the 20, 30 years of the best part of you that you live? Your last 20, 30 years? Don't you want the best you to come out? Don't you want all the things that you know that you can achieve to be achieved? It ain't going to happen like that. It just won't happen like that. Look, you got to do better. We got to do better. Man, give me a like and subscribe to the Pen and the Shank. This is me just sharing my thoughts. This is something that popped in my head because we all born, you know what I mean, with some kind of bad circumstances. But it's up to us as we become adults to mature and figure out how to fix it. There's a lot of things we can fix on our own. We can fix our own mentality. We can fix our own mindset. We can fix what we do with our time every day. The things that you don't have control of, you just don't have control of. If you focus on that, you're going to lose the focus on the things that you do have control over. Give me a like and subscribe to Pen and the Shank. Let's get it.